From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, August the 1st, 2017. A record number of Jewish visitors went to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City today to mark Teisha B'Av, the commemoration of the destruction of the first and second temples in Jerusalem that once stood there. Israel Radio reported that by early afternoon, over 1,000 Jews went up to the holy site, passing through the Mugrabi Gate, which is the entrance to the Temple Mount for non-Muslim visitors, and the only entrance that still has metal detectors in place. Israel police did report some minor scuffles, including several Jews who were ejected from the site for praying there, which is prohibited. But for the most part, the area remained calm. Tens of thousands also came to the nearby Kotel, the Western Wall, a remnant of the retaining wall of the Second Temple. American Ambassador to Israel David Friedman is in Washington this week. Friedman met yesterday with President Donald Trump in the Oval Office for a discussion that reportedly centered on the recent crisis in Israel that followed the deadly terror attack outside the Temple Mount on July the 14th, in which 2 Israeli police officers were murdered. The Jerusalem Post reported that Friedman was joined at the meeting by senior White House advisor Jared Kushner and U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt. A Muslim religious leader in California whose recent sermon in the midst of the Temple Mount crisis called for the destruction of Jews has apologized. We reported to you about inflammatory remarks in a sermon given by California Imam Ammar Shaheen, who leads the Islamic Center of Davis, made just over a week ago. This past Friday, Shaheen apologized. He said, "The last thing that I would do is intentionally hurt anyone, Muslim, Jewish, or otherwise." The Anti-Defamation League had condemned Shaheen's remarks last week, and director of the ADL's San Francisco office, Seth Brisk, welcomed the subsequent apology. He said this is an important first step, but it is only the beginning of a journey that he needs to make in restoring confidence in his religious leadership and his understanding of the roots of anti-Semitism. Arab language media reports that Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has started negotiations geared towards the PA having control of Gaza. The PA, which is represented by the Fatah party, presently rules Palestinians in the West Bank, while terror group Hamas rules Gaza. Fatah and Hamas have been at odds for years, and the reported talks are seen as an effort towards some sort of reconciliation. Argentina has donated a large number of Holocaust-related documents to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington. The Argentine Foreign Ministry delivered digital copies of almost 40,000 documents, including letters and telegrams and newspaper articles, following an agreement signed on Friday in Buenos Aires between Argentina's Secretary of International Cooperation, Ernesto Gaspari, and museum representative Samantha Casaretto. Many Nazis escaped to Argentina after World War II, including the infamous Adolf Eichmann, who was captured by Israeli Mossad agents in Buenos Aires in 1960. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper signed a bill into law last week against the BDS, Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, which seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. The bill prevents state agencies from contracting with companies that boycott Israel. It passed North Carolina's House and Senate earlier this month. Chairman of the Israel Action Network, an initiative of the Jewish Federations of North America and the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, Skip Schreier, said the state's Jewish federations had worked tirelessly on the legislation. He said, "We applaud their tremendous work and commend the governor, Roy Cooper, for taking this important step against discrimination against Israelis by those who oppose the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in their homeland." North Carolina is now the 22nd state with such laws or executive orders in place. Turning now to some sports news, Australian basketball forward Jonah Bolden has signed a deal to play basketball in Israel. Bolden, who was a second-round pick by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2017 NBA draft, will play for Maccabi Tel Aviv. Fox Sports reported Friday that Bolden signed a 3-year deal with the top Israeli team. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, August the 1st. At 7 o'clock, retired IDF Colonel Kobi Marom discusses the situation along Israel's borders with Lebanon and Syria from the See Israel 2017 program at Beth El Synagogue in New Rochelle. At 7:30, Hanif Bali of the Swedish Parliament, Gillian Marin of the Deputies of British Jews, Simone Rodan Ben-Zaken of the American Jewish Committee Europe, and Katharina von Schnurbein of the European Commission discuss anti-Semitism in Europe with AJC's Andrew Baker at the 2017 Global Forum. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Egyptian human rights activist Dalia Ziada on L'chaim, and at 10, Joy Layden, who is chair of the English department at Yeshiva University's Stern College for Women, discusses her gender transition in a program of Limud FSU. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, August the 1st, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.